Hello everybody, it's Bandit o'clock. So the 1st of April is going to be here soon, and I want to get the bike ready for summer. So what we're doing this week, we are going to get the wheels powder coated. So the first thing I need to do is get the wheels out. I need to take the wheels out, and to do that, first thing I'll do is take the calipers off. So now I'm only taking the bottom bolt out to start with because there is a spacer. So I'm going to put that one back just so I remember where it came from. Let's take that off, put the bolts back in, and we won't lose them. Just got to take the other one off, and then we'll move on to the spindle. Time for the pitch bolt. I've got some nice cap head Allen keys in there. Get this undone. We can undo the spindle then. Right. Let's see how we get on. The wheel's out. I'm going to put the spindle back in just so I don't lose the spacer. Less to undo on the back, just the spindle, and then we should be able to take it out. So undo the chain and then slide it out just like that, and there we go. I'll take the spacers out just so we don't lose them. I'll take the cush drive off as well, and before we take them to the powder coaters we need to remove the discs and the bearings. Now it's time to remove the bearing, and I'm going to show you one of my little tricks that I learned not too many years ago actually. It was one of those things that, why didn't I think of that? But as you might have seen when I've rebuilt the brakes on the GSXR, I used a brake piston removal tool. Now, I don't know why I didn't ever think of this, but they do fit inside bearings. So let me see if I can get it to tighten up. That's the only problem with the bearings, is they spin. So, right, I think that's nice and tight. Now I'm going to put the slide hammer part in, just like this. So in theory, as I slide this up, creating force, and it should pull the bearing out. Now it's quite far in there, might take me a few goes, but should we see how we get on? This might take me a few goes, so I'll see you in a moment. It is coming out, just a little bit slowly, so let's keep going. we're almost there. Few more. There we have it, one wheel bearing. So I didn't have to hit it with a drift and a hammer or anything like that. I think it's quite a good way of getting bearings out. I'm not going to bore you getting all the other bearings out the front wheel and stuff. Before we go to the powder coaters, I need to take the tyres off. And to do that, I need to borrow a tyre machine. So let's pop down the shop and take the tyres off. So I've popped down to my local bike shop, bikes, trikes and stuff in Fengate, Peterborough, and Jay has kindly let me use his tyre machine. So I just need to whip the tyres off and then I can go down to the powder coaters. Okay, so let me talk you through the tyre removing process. You can see me unscrewing here the valve. There's like the little internal bit that actually keeps the air in. You have to remove that and it lets all the air out. Then I have to remove the tyre from the bead. We use this big clamp and it just moves in. Sometimes it makes a bit of a pop and the tyre pops off the bead, and that way we can remove it. If we didn't do this, we'd never be able to mount the rim on the machine. So we have to do this twice, is always good, always makes life easier, and you have to do it both sides because there's a bead on both sides of the tyre. Now I'm going to mount the rim in the 4-jaw clamp. You have to be careful to make sure you get the rim and not the tyre or go past it. This is where you can scratch your rim if you're not careful. I'm now using a tyre lever and the arm that actually removes the tyre. So you have to put the tyre lever in, get it round the edge of the tyre that's normally sat on the bead. Pushing the tyre down helps get it off the bead and it makes it easier to sort of push it over the arm. And then spin the wheel round and the tyre comes off. We have to do this for both sides of the tyre, and it's actually easier for the second half of the tyre because one side of the bead is already off there. So we'll spin it round now and the tyre's off. So again, this is doing the back wheel. Sometimes it's a bit harder to pop the bead off, but it normally works. There we go. You see the tyre pushed all the way over to the other side. Again, it's good to do it in a couple of places. Just makes life easier when removing the tyre. And you have to do it on both sides of the rim because you've got two beads. Now it's time to clamp it in. I put the rim on the first two. They are sort of like a plasticky rubber, so they shouldn't scratch your rims. I'm just making sure I've got the rim in the right place for the other side. And clamp it in. Now I'm just getting the tyre off the bead just to make life easier. Now I've got the arm over again, push it down. And then we'll pop the tyre up over the foot on the arm. We'll spin it round and then you can see the tyre coming off. And then we'll put the tyre lever in again, get the other side of the tyre, pull that up. Always try and pull a bit of the tyre up, it just makes your life that bit easier. We'll spin it and off it comes. And that's the second tyre removed. Now if you look at the rim near the circle, where it's where the valve used to be, you can see the wheels are very corroded. I did actually have a slow puncture on the back. The corrosion can actually cause the slow puncture. I've got the tyres off, I've got the valves and the weights off, The bearings are out. I've got to say a massive thank you for Jay at Bike Strikes and stuff for letting me use his tyre machine. It's been a few years since I've used one, but it's a bit like riding a bike. You soon remember how to do it. So now I need to get down to the powder coaters. So I got down to the powder coaters and they showed me the wall of colours that they do. And I just could not believe the amount of shades of grey they have. They do them in gloss and matte. And the range of colours was just overwhelming. If you've watched any of the videos before, you'll know how indecisive I am when it comes to colour. And this huge wall of colours definitely wasn't helping. The bright stuff looks really good, but I'm not sure how bright I want to go. And it was quite hard to make my mind up. And then they showed me this wall. This wall has got all their fancy colours on, all their pearlescence, all their metal flakes, just all the fancier stuff, as it were. That bronze or copper I think is incredible, and the sort of lime colour and the purples. Wow, you should see the purples in person. They really are incredible. They got the iridescents that change colour. They use different bases. They use black and chrome to make a difference. So again, I just couldn't decide which colour to go for. I was impressed. I was shocked by how many different types of chrome they had. There's just way too much choice. Let me know which colour you think I should go for in the comment section. And we are back from the powder coaters. As you can see, I've got the wheels done. Bill's very kindly put the discs and the wheel bearings back in, so I can actually balance the wheels once I've got the tyres on. Now I've got a bit of tyre soap around the hole that the brand new valve's going to go through, and the green thing in my hand is to actually pull the valve through. You put the valve through a little bit, screw it in, and then use the green thing to pop it through. Now it's time to put the first tyre on. I've got to make sure I get the direction of the tyre the right way round. And I'm not sure I've seen it yet, but there is actually a yellow dot, which is the lightest part of the tyre, which you line up with the heaviest part of the wheel, which is generally where the tyre valve is. The first side of the tyre is nice and easy to pop on, he says. You don't actually need the tyre machine for this point, but to get the other side on, you need to move the arm back and help that push it down. And to make life easier, we put plenty of tyre soap around the bead of the rim. So we've got the arm back down. We'll spin the tyre and you can see it starts pushing it on. You have to push down on the tyre, otherwise it won't go on properly. So we'll move on to the back wheel, do exactly the same thing. We'll put a brand new valve in it. With the valve tool, we'll use a little bit of tyre soap to make life easier. You have to take the internal piece of the valve out as well, so when you blowing the tyre up and seating the bead for the first time, it lets the maximum amount of pressure into the tyre. Again, we'll get the tyre soap on just to make life easy. The first side of the tyre, again, you don't need the machine for, you can push it on by hand. It's just that second side that you need the machine to help you push on. Sometimes it can be a bit tight with new tyres. If you ever put in an old tyre back on a rim, it's definitely much easier. So again, put some tyre soap on the other side of the tyre. We'll get the arm back in place so we can spin the wheel and finish the second side of the tyre. As you can see, it can be a little bit awkward sometimes. You have to go backwards and forwards because brand new tyres are actually quite stiff. When you take a second hand tyre off, it's surprising how much more supple they are. There we go, finally popped on. So now all I need to do is release the arm, move it out of the way, and release the 4 clamps. And then we need to fill the tyre up with air to seat the bead, and then it will be time for balancing. Well, look at those wheels. You might have spotted when I was putting the tyres on the new colour I've got. It's really hard to get on the camera, but they're a purple to blue iridescent, which means they flip colour. They've got a black base, and I really think it makes the wheels pop. If you ever see the bike in the daylight and move around it, wow, it goes from a real deep purple to a real deep blue and everything in between. It looks really, really good. I've got to say a massive thanks to Bill for helping us out and getting a few jobs done for me. I've had a super busy week again, and I didn't think I would get it done in time, but we did. And Bill even replaced the wheel bearings. We took the old ones out for powder coating, and he popped down to the bearing shop and managed to pick 4 new bearings up and put them in for me as well. I've got to say a massive thanks to Jay at Bikes, Trikes and Stuff for letting me use his tyre machine to take the old tyres off and put my new ones on and balance them and stuff. And the one thing I did say I wanted to do was get the bike on the road for the 1st of April. Now if you're watching this video as it goes live, that's tomorrow. I've also been getting the bodywork ready for the paint, and you'll find out in next week's video if I get it on the road and painted ready for the 1st of April. So if you want to get a notification when we do our uploads, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon, and you'll find out every time we make an upload. So guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.